Internet data has helped secure the arrests of 3 teens for a fire that killed a family of 5. But a ruling from the state Supreme Court could change the whole course of the case, and others as well.
It takes away, that sense of security that you feel about the people who are protecting your community.
The story of an officer who made several DUI arrests, but at least 5 of them had drivers that were later proven to have been sober. Well, now they're suing that police department.
Property taxes are going up, way up. State lawmakers have just days to do something about that, where the plan to help stands now. It's been a fairly quiet weather day until, the last couple of hours. It got kind of exciting. Sky 9 caught some of the storm clouds that quickly blew through town about an hour ago. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts triggered a severe thunderstorm warning, and there's still a ground stop at DIA. It doesn't end until 5:30. Some flights are circling the airport, and then there were some issues with the blowing dust. The wind and dust limited visibility for drivers in Commerce City.
Good news is those storms came and went fast. It's already clearing up in some of the places around Denver, and some sunshine is poking through. We are still seeing some dark storm clouds along the Front Range, so Kathy will talk about that storm threat coming up in just a couple of minutes. How wide a net can police actually cast if they're searching for evidence online? Well, the Colorado Supreme Court was weighing that question today.
They heard arguments about whether a key piece of evidence in a deadly fire should be allowed in court. The fire happened 3 years ago in Green Valley Ranch. It killed 5 members of the Joel family. Police arrested 3 teens, largely because of online searches that police learned about later.
Today it was
Every single day, people around the world conduct billions of Google searches.
Court will call 23 SA-12, people of the state of Colorado versus Gavin Seymour.
On Thursday, the Colorado Supreme Court focused on one Google search term in particular, 5312 North Truckee Street.
This house was clearly plucked out of this densely populated neighborhood.
On August 5th, 2020, an arson fire destroyed 5312 North Truckee Street in Green Valley Ranch, killing 5 people. The case was cold for several months until detectives say Google helped solve it, based on the results of a warrant they served on Google looking for anybody who had searched the Truckee Street address. Detectives say they identified 3 teens as suspects, including 16-year-old Gavin Seymour. It was the big break in the case and eventually resulted in police arresting the 3 teens. In pretrial hearings, a Denver judge ruled that the Google search was legal. Gavin Seymour's lawyer disagreed.
It fails to specify any individual account to be searched.
On Thursday, he argued to the Colorado Supreme Court that the search was far too broad and that billions of Google accounts were searched in the process.
That's what this case boils down to. The absence of probable cause to search Mr. Seymour.
Prosecutors told the judges a much different story.
I think that the technology here is novel, but the search really isn't. And this was a very narrow request for a very specific set of accounts.
This is not going to be an easy case for the Supreme Court to decide.
9 News legal analyst Scott Robinson says no matter what the justices decide, the case will have broad implications on future online searches and seizures.
There are certainly substantial grounds on which to uphold the search and at least equally substantial grounds to set it aside. And no matter which way they rule, it's going to have enormous consequences for future investigations.
The Supreme Court is expected to decide on the issue in the next few months. If the judges do not allow the Google search evidence to be admitted at trial, it would be a major blow to prosecutors and their case. The youngest of the suspects, who is now 17, pleaded guilty earlier this year. Kim and Tom. And
this is, again, one of those things where the court is working with modern technology and its role in things like this.
That's right, Tom. And as Scott Robinson said to me earlier, often the law trails technology, and it seems to be happening in this case.
Thank you, Matt.
There are 5 people suing the Fort Collins Police Department after they were wrongfully arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence. Their attorney says all 5 had their cases dismissed, and it was the same officer who had arrested all 5. Jason Haferman resigned from the department before an investigation into wrongful DUI arrests was complete. The suit, though, claims Haferman racked up more DUI arrests in 1 year than anyone else in the department's history. 9 News reporter Jaleesa Irizarry spoke to a few of the plaintiffs and their attorney. They say his large number of arrests should have been a red flag for his supervisors.
You know why I'm contacting you?
Not a single clue.
A simple ask usually brings an easy answer.
But what happened this night in December 2021 has led Harris Elias
because I'm asking you
to question everything.
And I have a whole new appreciation for what the abuse of power can look like.
Elias has had some time to reflect on the night he was pulled over by former police officer Jason Hafferman.
Smell a faint odor of alcohol coming from your breath.
Elias is just one of 5 people that filed a lawsuit this week against Hafferman, the officer arresting him in this video, his supervisors, and the Fort Collins Police Department. Because his run-in with Hafferman
You are going to get arrested. You are going to go to jail.
appears to be like so many others.
Can we do a breathalyzer?
That's Hafferman on the right and Jesse Cunningham in the t-shirt. Cunningham was on vacation with his family in 2021 when he witnessed a car crash, pulled over to help, and found himself in front of Hafferman.
It was not just a DUI arrest. It was a string of events that caused trauma, lasting trauma with my family.
Cunningham admitted drinking 2 light beers nearly 4 hours before witnessing that crash. Blood tests provided by his attorney show he was clean. So was Elias. An internal investigation by police showed at least 9 DUI cases involving Hafferman in less than a year, with blood tests that came back with no alcohol or drugs present. Hafferman resigned before he could be fired. But attorney Sarah Shelke believes the problem didn't go away with him.
Everybody is most interested in is ensuring that this does not happen to anybody else again. And that means top-down change.
The plaintiffs are looking for lost wages due to those DUI arrests. They're also looking for formal apologies from the department, policy changes, and additional training for officers. The Fort Collins Police Department says no one has been served with the lawsuit yet, so they have not seen the paperwork, but they say they take all litigation seriously and will review it once they receive it. Tom?
Your story. We'll continue to follow that one. Thank you, Jaleesa.
Still no charges against a man who turned himself in after a deadly shooting at a Tesla charging station in Edgewater yesterday. In fact, Edgewater police say the man has not been arrested. No charges have been presented to the DA. Police have not shared the name of that man or the name of the victim. Police will only say the investigation is still underway into the shooting at the Edgewater market, leading up to what happened before it as well. A man has pleaded guilty to federal hate crime charges for setting fire to a church in Loveland in January. The FBI says 22-year-old Darian Sexton admitted to throwing 2 Molotov cocktails at the Abiding Love Lutheran Church, one at the front door, one at the basement. Both fires were quickly put out. Sexton could get as many as 20 years in prison when sentenced in July.
A bill that Governor Polis opposes, one that could slow down the wolf reintroduction in Colorado, is now headed for his desk. The Senate gave final approval this afternoon. That's the bill that says wolves cannot be reintroduced until the federal government issues a rule called 10J. That's the rule that would change the wolves' designation from endangered to experimental. This opens up more options for when a person could kill a wolf. 9 News is still waiting for an answer from the governor about his intentions as far as signing that bill.
The bill announced Monday to lower the impact of the property tax hikes could get its first major passage tonight. The legislature needs to pass the plan before it can appear on the ballot in November, and the Senate is set to take its final vote on it tonight. If they approve it, it will head to the House for consideration. However, the session ends Monday, so there's just a limited amount of time to get both chambers on board. The ballot measure would allow the first $40,000 of your home to not be taxed, making the tax increases less extreme, but not erase the increases. The governor's proposal would use your Tabor refund money to backfill money from property taxes that would normally go toward water, fire, and hospital districts.
Kim, as advertised, an active weather day. We're tracking fast-moving showers and thunderstorms. Will you see rain in your neighborhood tonight? We'll have a radar update and that forecast after the break.
Colorado State has been ranked as a top university for students, but some of its faculty says the school is failing the people who make it great.
A local nonprofit lost its supply of pillows that help breast cancer patients. So today, a group of high schoolers got to work to help.